I want to welcome you back. I'll be briefer about this each time we go, but just to remind you kind of what we're about here. This is our kind of a talk back session and an expanding our ideas session from some of the things that we're doing in our regular themes throughout the week. This year we have chosen Christianity's relationship to other religious and spiritual traditions. That's what we're working on, how a conversation between some of our celebrations and rituals and ideas, worldviews, might be enhanced, both in terms of how we learn about what other people do and how that might inspire our own thinking. The first section we are working on indigenous traditions, but most especially the Lakota tradition and some of the ideas, excuse me, that they present. And kind of the way we've been working this is each week I do a little presentation for 15 or 20 minutes and then try to push us into some conversation about how those ideas might inspire our thinking. And so I welcome you back. These are, I kind of expect to be here every Monday night between now and May for whoever shows up. Just to kind of give you a preview of coming attractions, this is Indigenous and Lakota. In October, November, we'll do the Hindu tradition. Around Christmas, I specifically switched gears, so we'll jump to Judaism, so we can deal with concepts of Messiah and the conversation between how Judaism and Christianity collide, especially around Christmas, because we got to talk a little bit about Christmas being at this church and all. And then we'll do Buddhism at the beginning of the year 2010, and then during Lent, we're going to do Islam, which will be very interesting. And then in the spring, we'll do Christianity and all of its myriad of flavors. I like to use the word flavor to think about how it is that Christianity in its diversity. So in all of those, the idea is that we put ideas out there and not to necessarily convert anybody to become another tradition, but two things that I think are happening as our world becomes smaller in some ways, as we have more contact with more people more quickly. It's important to know a little bit about some of these other traditions, and I think that, for example, when it might just matter when you're calling to get some help with your computer, it's possible that you're talking to a Hindu in India. It's almost, in fact, it's probably very possible. And so in that conversation, it might be important at some point to understand that worldviews in communication, the places we start and what we believe and how we understand things are important to our conversations. So little things like that, I think it's important that we have an idea of some of the ideas that other people are working with. So in that regard, I think it's important. But then it's been my experience, and of course, since it's been my experience, I'm just vain enough to think that might be everybody's experience, that when I bring what I believe in contact with some new ideas, it forces me to rethink my own ideas, and therefore it's challenging, but I hope it also strengthens and gets me thinking about, I wonder how that works for me, and I wonder, wow, that tradition is kind of interesting. Maybe there's something in my own tradition that I need to be looking more richly at, and I'm hoping that conversation will